Everyone has seen that one movie franchise that they love and has been part of their life for what feels like an eternity. As a child, we've all seen that one film that just instantly encapsulated us and has been a cornerstone of our life ever since, possibly even making up a big part of your personality. I mean, like, the enjoyment of these movies helps create new bonds with people and that we may have never met if it wasn't for these movies. However, I'm not gonna lie, most of these movie franchises that I feel like most people consider to be like the best ones have fallen off since their prime, about the 90s, 2000s or 2010s. And what might be one of the biggest examples of one of the more like modern franchises is the MCU. The MCU is one of the newer big behemoth franchises, I guess you'd call it. It started about 2009 with the first Iron Man movie, and it was good. I mean, like, almost every movie was a banger, and then Avengers Endgame came out, capped it off. It was a great story with lovable and memorable characters. And then after the Endgame, it had a bigger fall off than Man United after Alex Ferguson left. I mean, the only MCU movie after Endgame that I can think that people actually care about is Spider-Man No Way Home. And what doesn't help is the amount of movies they put out along with the shows. I mean, Disney is really acting like the Kaminoans with these Marvel shows on some 200,000 units already and with a million more well on the way type shit. And like, no one cares about these shows because like, who actually gives a shit about Wonder Man? I mean, I didn't even know he existed before the show, and I still don't know who he is. I mean, I didn't watch it, but I digress. I mean, Disney just puts out so much slop and then turns out to be trash instead of putting one or two good movies a year onto the market. And people always talk about superhero fatigue and stuff, but I mean, the new DC universe seems to be going pretty strong. I mean, there's only one movie out, but the Superman movie is pretty good, and the hype for the next Supergirl movie that's coming out seems to be quite big as well. Now, the next franchise I want to talk about is one that you're probably all expecting, and that's Star Wars. Now, Star Wars is my favorite movie franchise of all time, so I might be a little bit biased, but I don't actually think Star Wars has fallen off as bad as other people might think. And yes, the sequels were created, and that might be one of the worst pieces of fiction ever made. Like, Bonnie Blue honestly could have made a more cohesive trilogy. But the other media that has come out of Star Wars since the Disney acquisition's actually been decent. I mean, Rogue One I think is pretty good, and what might be a hot take is the Han Solo movie I actually enjoyed. And the shows have been mixed, but Mandalorian and or Bad Batch, they're all good in my opinion. I mean, Star Wars also doesn't put nearly as much out as Marvel does, so you're not bloating everything with random background characters that no one knows who they even are. Like, can you tell me who Coleman Trevor is? I mean, I can tell you that, but I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, but your average viewer might not. I mean, like, there hasn't been a movie for 6 years. However, if the new Mando movie that's coming out isn't good, Star Wars could be cut. Now, the next franchise I want to talk about is the Jurassic Park franchise. Now, Jurassic Park is a mixed bag. The first 3 movies, in my opinion, are great. Jurassic Park 3 does have its ups and downs, but I do think it's much better than the latter 2 Jurassic World movies. I mean, I like the first Jurassic World movie that came out in 2015. Now, I realize it's probably not actually that good of a movie, but in my opinion, I just love it. It's very entertaining. But the next 2 Jurassic World films fell off a cliff. It's like when Blitzwing throws Bumblebee off the cliff in the Bumblebee Transformers movie. I mean, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom starts out decent, but with them going back on the island, hey yo, not that one. But once they go to the mansion, I mean, it's just so boring. Like, you only really see like 3 dinosaurs aren't just locked up in cages until the end of the film. And then the main bad guy, the Indoraptor, dies by falling through a roof and getting stabbed by a Triceratops skull. Like, it looks cool, but would it have hurt to make the fight against Blue last a bit longer? And in Jurassic World Dominion, this movie is better than its predecessor. That's probably a really hot take. But when you compare it to the first Jurassic Park movies, it's like Raditz versus the farmer at the start of Dragon Ball Z. And it's also really long. It's like 2.5 hours, and I don't think that it needed to be that long. And that locust subplot thing was just so boring. Like, I don't actually know why they included that. Like, the main villain, the main bad guy's plan was to put out locusts to kill farm crops in a dinosaur movie. Like, why did they actually think that was a good idea? And then Jurassic World Rebirth came out last year, and I actually think it's pretty good. However, it is another just one of those we've discovered a new island
there's a third
movies.
island.
It's a bit repetitive. Now, for a smaller franchise, if you like monster movies, you've probably watched Pacific Rim. Now, I love this movie. It's basically Godzilla vs. Transformers, and the first one is great. It looks amazing, the action is cool, the robots are just realistic. But then the second movie, half of what made the first one so cool is just removed. I mean, most of the fights take place during the day, which I just don't think it looks as good, and you can see the CGI errors more. But the robots act like they're ninjas. I mean, just tell me any robots that can do a whole ass gymnastics routine. Anyway, if you all enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It'd really help out the channel. And once I reach 100 subscribers, I will be doing a left hand reveal. So if you want to see that, drop a sub. And I think you should watch the video on the end screen now. Biggest aura losses in fiction. Now, I was trying to come up with an intro for this video, but I couldn't actually think of how to make it something that didn't sound dumb, so let's just get straight into it. So, in Pokemon Black and White, Ash is coming off a semi-final appearance in the Sinnoh League, only losing to this bum called Tobias, because this guy presumably has like a full team of legendary Pokemon. I mean, he only used Darkrai and either Latios or Latias, I never remember which one's which, and he only needed 2 Pokemon to beat Ash. Anyway, I think Ash gained a good amount of aura in Diamond and Pearl, but in Black and White, it's like he got a lobotomy in between shows, because this guy went from a top 4 trainer in Sinnoh to like a fat chud. I mean, this guy was making stupid ass decisions like deciding to fight all 3 of the gym leader dudes in the first gym, forgetting tight matchups, and barely any of his Pokemon fully evolved by the start of the league. I don't even know how this man even got like 8 gym badges. Like, he probably should have gotten like 5. Obviously, how? I don't know! Anyway, Ash gets to the quarterfinals, and his opponent is this kid called Cameron. Now, this guy's established to be an even bigger dumbass than Ash. Like, he forgets what he's talking about mid-sentence. Anyway, they're told to take out the Pokemon, and Cameron asks that a full Pokemon battle is 5 Pokemon, and Ash is like, bro, are you tripping? It's 6. Like, how the hell do you get to the quarterfinals, like the top 8 Pokemon trainers in the league, and you forget that a full battle is 6 Pokemon? Like, this guy brought 5 Pokemon, so Ash had an extra Pokemon. So it should be an easy victory considering Cameron's a dumbass, right? My man Ash still managed to lose. I mean, half of his team got dustbins by Hydreigon. Like, this is worse bottling than Arsenal in the 22-23 season. And he managed to lose to this fucking bum. Anyway, Ash managed to gain his aura back in XY, but I think this should be a permanent stain on his career. Now, when you think of a character with a tiny amount of screen time but a ton of popularity, who do you think? Because for me, that first thought in my brain, that character is Boba Fett. In episode 5 and episode 6, Boba Fett is tough. I mean, he just stands there and stares at you menacingly, and his armor is really cool, and it was unique before Mandalorians were established in the Star Wars universe. Now, when Book of Boba Fett was announced, I was excited because they're giving Boba Fett the Darth Maul treatment. A cool character with little screen time gets a large role in a new show. And then Book of Boba Fett came out, and it's basically Star Wars Looney Tunes. Like, you have goofy dudes with mechanical thing coming out their eyes and heads, riding moped speeder bikes, while Boba Fett gets attacked by dudes riding Rancors. And then halfway through the show, Boba Fett gets his own show hijacked by the Mandalorian. I mean, he lost so much aura that he's not even the main character of his own show anymore. And his armor is nowhere near as cool as what it used to look like. I think that accelerated aging was getting to him. Now, in the Dragon Ball universe, basically half of the characters are 24/7 aura farmers. I mean, Goku and Piccolo have degrees in aura farming. But one man who tries to aura farm but always fails is Vegeta. Like, he's always trying to big himself up, saying he's gonna beat everyone, and then he always loses. Like, he gets his ass beat by every major villain. Frieza, Cell, Boo, the androids. Like, the only dude he can actually beat is like the Frieza lackeys on the Namek arc and Mr. Satan Bow. Like, he's so stoic and cold when he makes an entrance, and then gets packed up better than an Amazon box in record time. Now, another character from Star Wars. This guy may have lost the most aura out of all of these characters, except for the last guy, who we'll get to in a bit, just because of how much aura he had built up. I mean, in the Clone Wars, Cad Bane was introduced in season 2, and he was actually so cool. Like, he was smart, he had cool tech, like his rocket boots. He was actually a threat to the Jedi. and he just had a tough fit, like some space cowboy looking thing with those tubes that like connect his face or whatever. Anyway, he pulled off some insane feats like stealing a holocron from the Jedi Temple, one of the most secure places in the Star Wars universe. And then when he was said he was going to come back for Book of Boba Fett, I was hyped, like not gonna lie. I couldn't wait to see what stunts this blue dude was going to pull off. And then after 2 episodes, he gets easily slimed out by Boba Fett. Like, the only thing Cad Bane does in the show that I can remember is kill Cobb Vanth. But I don't actually think Cobb Vanth gets killed. I can't remember, but I don't actually think he dies. And then he gets stabbed. Like, I don't even know why Boba Fett fought Cad Bane in the first place, because before the show, they had, like, no beef. I don't even think they'd met each other. But, like, Book of Boba Fett was just so bad, it single-handedly destroyed the aura of 2 of Star Wars' best bounty hunters. Now, the next character is a bit different, because it's 2 iterations of the same character. Now, you might say this doesn't count, but I think the way the character is portrayed in the second version, he just had 0 aura. Now, this character is Lloyd from Ninjago. Now, in the show, Lloyd is like the most powerful ninja. He's got some impressive feats like defeating the Overlord twice, becoming the Golden Ninja, which is like the essence of the first Spinjitzu master, who's basically god of the Ninjago world. And Lloyd has tons of fans across the entire world. But in the movie, they made Lloyd a loser chud, who everyone hates him at his school, and he gets bullied by his dad, bro. Like, his dad doesn't talk to him, and I don't know, I think his mom just works at a grocery store. I mean, like, how much worse can it get for my man? I mean, I know these are 2 separate versions of character, but I still wanted to include him in this video. Now, the next character is Voldemort from Harry Potter. I mean, this guy gets hyped up for 7 movies. Everyone's so scared of him, they don't even want to say his name. He's got, like, titles like the Dark Lord and shit. I mean, this guy's supposedly wizard, magical, Austrian painter dude. And then he pulls up to Hogwarts to fight a bunch of untrained teenage witches and wizards and like 20 teachers. And let's be the only actual threats to Voldemort, like Snape, Harry himself, and Hermione, because she's like smart. But anyway, everyone else that Voldemort should have full box 200 pumped in half a second. But what actually happens is this guy's full ass army and himself get destroyed by a bunch of literal children. Like, these dudes aren't even allowed to use magic outside of school yet. And when Voldemort duels Harry, Voldemort lost. Like, in the movies, we see Harry isn't actually that good at anything, to be honest. He just has friends and is very lucky. But the dark, evil Lord of Magic has been said to be very powerful, and everyone has been scared of him returning for decades, gets packed up by an untrained 17-year-old who's just like barely above average at magic. I mean, this might be one of the biggest aura losses in fiction. Bro, I've said aura way too many times for my own good in this video. Anyway, if y'all enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe. It would really help out the channel. And at 100 subs, I will be doing a left hand reveal. Anyway, now go watch the video on the end screen. I think TV shows have fallen off in probably the last decade or so, because we used to get like 20, maybe 15, 20 episode seasons of a show like every single year. And now you're lucky if you get 10 episodes of a season of a show that takes like 2-3 years to come out. I mean, The Mandalorian took like 3 years between season 2 and season 3. Maybe it might have been like 2 years, but it definitely didn't come out the year after season 2 came out. Like, shows nowadays, they have like way bigger budgets and stuff, but then they either just aren't as good, or they take so long to come out, the hype dies down for when the original show was released. And like, we used to get 20 episodes of a show like every year, and now like the stories have to be crammed into 8 or 10 episode seasons, which just doesn't give the writers enough time to fully flesh out all the plot lines and characters and events that just happen in these universes. And obviously, if a show gets greenlit for like 3, 4, maybe even 5 seasons, then you're able to do a lot of that. Especially if you know you're going to get another season, you can just roll it into the next show. If a show only gets 1 or 2 seasons, which means it only has like 16 episodes, then the story doesn't get to be fully told, and it might have like just a crap ending. And some shows nowadays, it feels like they have crap endings, or they just don't end, or when the show finishes, like the final season comes out, it doesn't have an ending because they wanted to make a last one and then it cancelled. And I think TV shows have fallen off since like the 2010s. But what do you all think? Almost everybody I've ever met hates going to school, and I think one of the reasons is the first thing you experience on a school day is getting on a hot, musty-ass bus full of teenagers who don't wear deodorant. Like, whenever you walk on a school bus, you'll never know what you're gonna witness for the next half an hour. Like, kids will be fighting each other, kids will be having rap battles, blasting dead dudes from 2020, and the bus driver will shouting her ass off to the audience of absolutely nobody. And I mean, the bus driver is already bad enough, but their attitude is worse than a fucking chihuahua. Like, can you just get us to school please right now? I'm not trying to die when your ass drives into oncoming traffic because you're too worried about kids talking to each other. Like, lady, you're on a bus full of 40 kids, they're gonna talk to each other. I think you knew what you're signed up for. You probably went on the bus when you were a kid. Like, I remember once, I was in 3rd grade, we were on the bus home, and the driver thought our decibel levels were a little too high for her liking, so she threatened to take us back to school. And like, bus drivers threaten to do this all the time, like, it's always bluff, they never actually do it. But this time, she actually took us back to school and got the principal on the bus, who shouted at us for like 20 minutes. Like, she just dead ass wasted an extra half an hour of our lives. She could have just gotten us home, and she wouldn't have had to deal with us anymore. I don't know, maybe my driver is just one bad egg, but this experience ticked me off when I was a kid. We've talked about drivers, let's move on to the kids and the kind of activities you may witness happening on this yellow rectangular hotbox. Now, you can tell what kind of person someone is based on where they sat on the bus. Like, at the front, you've got the nerds and the loser kids. In the middle, you've got the NPC kids who are on that just gotta make it a Friday type shit. And at the back, you've got the guys who are up to something. Now, I was usually in the middle, because not gonna lie, I'm that NPC who's just gotta make it to Friday for somebody who doesn't know me. Like, sometimes I dabble sitting in the back, but that's because, in the afternoon, my bus, kids would like start trading Pokemon cards and shit. We'd have to do it at the back because they were banned at our school. Now, the teachers don't actually give a shit that much because my friend and I were always trading with cards at recess, but we didn't know what kind of stuff our driver would pull after that incident. So anyway, from what I heard, my bus was kind of one of the chiller ones. Like, kids would blast music and shit off their Chromebooks, but there was never really a fight. Now, I was content with my bus until I got to 6th grade. Obviously, I was in middle school, so I got a new bus route, no driver, all that. And the first day, I got a horrible impression because this chud gave us assigned seats on a bus. Like, why would you give assigned seats on a school bus? Like, I've just had assigned seats all day at school. Most classes are fine, but sometimes you're just sitting with that Gorlock the Destroyer person. But this person was strict as hell with our assigned seats. Like, if your ass wasn't in your seat, then your ass was getting written up. Like, what was worse was my seat was literally in the first row. And after that day ended, I went to the bus space and my bus wasn't there. Obviously, I was a bit confused. I asked one of the teachers and they was like, it's late. And all of the other buses left. And so it was like me and 4 other dudes. I guess everyone else got left home. But we were just waiting in the cafeteria. And it was like half an hour until the bus got to school and we can go home. Then it happened the next day and the next day. Like, it was actually late every day I took the bus. I mean, eventually I moved to a new house where I could walk, but that's not important. Anyway, I found out the teacher who drives our bus also works at the high school down the road, and that school finished after hours, so she can't make the afternoon bus time. Like, what dumbass works 2 jobs that overlap each other? Like, I know teachers are poor and stuff, looking like Squidward, but don't get a second job which takes place at the same time as your first one, because that affects other people. Anyway, after I found out that, I was pissed. Also, I want to say school buses actually smell like fermented pig feces. Anyway, every school bus I've ever been on has been the mustiest place in like a 25-mile radius. Shit making me look like that fish from SpongeBob. Anyway, the average school bus is like complete trash, but sometimes if your school is an absolute chud, you get some nice things in life. Like, one time, I was on a school trip to this place, it was like a couple hours away, and they rented out this nice, like, bus. Like, it was double-decker, it had blinds on the windows, had a TV at the front, Like, we weren't allowed to use it, but it's the thought that counts, right? Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. At 100 subs, I'll be doing a left hand reveal, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, you should watch that video on the end screen now.